Alright guys, so we are going to do a slice project. We're going to slice these objects apart so they look like you can see the interior of them. So pick whatever object you want. It can be an animal, piece of fruit, it can be a plant, it can be a person or a building, whatever you want that you think is going to be a nice way of doing this. So what we're going to do here is make sure you have a nice large image. Remember, go to Google or Bing, make sure you go to large image, make sure you click on the thumbnail, make it large before you bring it onto your desktop, your computer, or you drag it into Photoshop. Make sure it's a large image. Otherwise, there's going to be some issues when it gets really pixelated. So I'm going to go ahead and shut off that layer, get ready to start. So first thing I'm going to do is I want to select my rhino out from my white background. I don't need to have that white background. A couple different ways I can do it. We used to use the magic erase tool. Now I'm going to go to the quick selection tool, and I am going to not use the quick selection tool, but when I touch the quick selection tool, I get the option of select subject. I'm going to click on select subject, and Photoshop will select out the object for me, and it does a really nice job with selection. It works really well because it's a white object. If you did this on an object that was on a background that was more complicated, Photoshop might have a harder time, but when it's simple, Photoshop does a really good job. Now I'm going to select it off that white background. Now remember, when you have an active selection going, Photoshop's only going to do the command that you give it inside the area of the marching ants. So lucky for us, when we do Command J, it's just the rhino, and I can throw away that original layer, and now the rhino is on a transparent background. So first thing I want to do is I want to make my rhino white. I'm going to go hold down the this little half circle down here and put on a black and white adjustment layer. So now my adjustment layer is there. I can hold down Shift, select both layers, and then do a Command E or Command Elefante or Command Elephant and merge it onto one layer. Now I'm ready to start setting up the slices. We are going to use paths, which right now there's nothing on the path layer. There's no path layers right now in the path area, but they're going to start appearing. I'm going to go down here and I'm going to use the elliptical tool. Now with the elliptical tool, this is how I'm going to draw my sections to be sliced into. So I will go ahead and put my ellipse there. It's not perfect, but when I do a Command T, I can bring up the transform tool and move it to wherever it needs to be. So let's see, move it down. Make it I have to hold down Shift if I'm going to try to shrink it in so it's not quite so wide. And then Command plus and zoom in a little bit. You want it to be, just about perfect. All right, there it is. Now I go to my path area and it's there. Now it says work path. Now this is important. Hit return if your transform tool is still on. Where it says work path, you must change the name because if you don't, this will disappear next time you try to make a path. So I will call this slice 1. All right, now it's there, and I do need to make a new. All right, I do need to make a new path, but when I'm glad I did this because it shows you where I kind of made a mistake here. Don't do the path. Let me throw that in the trash first. Don't do a path until you make a blank layer over here. Then come up here. Now you're ready to make your new path. So now I'm going to go and get my ellipse. I draw my ellipse. Now, since it's on that new layer, it should come in. It says work path. Again, we're going to change that to slice 2. It's okay. Now I should be able to delete it. There we go. Now I'm on a blank layer again, and I'll do one more. Let me go back to my ellipse tool, and I will do one last one that will go here. And it's on a blank layer, should be okay. Again, we'll call this slice 3. All right. Okay, return. There we go. 3 slices. We're in good shape. Okay, now we're going to get ready to slice up the rhino. So what we do need to do here is we're going to go back to our path. We'll select our first path, and I'm going to hold down Command. I'm going to make it an active selection, so I get that circle going. Go back to my layers. Make sure I'm on the rhino layer. And now I'm going to select out this rhino. And I do want it so that this round arch for this one is going in this direction for right now, and so I will select my lasso tool. Now with the lasso tool, there's a couple different buttons up here. One's the standard one. This one here is going to add to the selection. This one will subtract from the selection, and this one is where the two selections meet. But I will do the second one. So I do want this going this way, so I will go ahead and draw in this. If for some reason your marching ants are disappear, that means you've clicked the wrong button. But I'll select it in there. Now you can see it's added. I have that nice round arch. Do Command J. So now I have part of my rhino going there. And then I will do another one where I go back to my original rhino. And we're going to do another selection here. So I'll go back to my original rhino, and then I'm going to go to my paths, and I will do the same one again because I want one where this guy is going the other way. So again, move him over a little bit and select this one. There we go. And now I do a Command J again. So now I have the rhino going one way, the rhino going the other way. This gives me options. We can't see it, but it's there. All right. So now, since my rhino, this is the way that the slices will go. I need to make one more. Let me go back to my paths. I will go to that middle slice now. Hold down Command. Select the swatch, get the marching ants going again, and here we go. I'm going to select this out again, and then go back to my layers, do Command J. Now I have the rhino going this way. I'm going to make more rhinos than I need because then I have them. I can always get rid of them if I decide I want to use them or not use them. So then I will do one more going the other way. Let me go to my paths. And then I'll do one this way. And Command J. So then I come back and I do the last one. Make sure you're on the original rhino layer. And do my last path. And I will select him out. And I do Command J. And then I go to my original rhino again. For paths, hold down Command. Make an active selection again, and go this way this time. That just gives me a lot of options if I do this, in case I make a mistake or I want to change it later. So I have extra rhinos that I'm probably going to get rid of. All right, so now I can go ahead and start putting these rhinos together with the slices. So now let me go ahead and I'll turn off any layer I don't want other than, let's see, I want that first rhino. Where's my first rhino? There he is, he's way up here. All right, so now this is going to be my original rhino that the slices will overlap behind, so I want to name him. And I'll name him Rhino 1. For sure I'm keeping him, well, at least for right now. Now I want the rhino that's going to be right behind him. So I have to figure out which that one is. This one. Okay, so I can shut off that rhino. And this is where the slice is going to go here. So now that I have this part of the rhino selected, I can go to Paths. I can hold down Command. And then I've got the rhino selected. Now I'm going to go ahead and start filling those with color. So I'm going to go to my half circle, go to solid color. I'm going to select out my color. I can go with, maybe I'll go with a bright, let me go with magenta there. All right, now, right now it's flat. I do want to do a FX layer where I'm going to go down to the inner glow. And I will go ahead, it's already set up for purple. That actually looks pretty good. Play around with the size of my my glow here, see how that looks. I want it to look where, you know, I have a nice shadow going there. Blend mode, let's see. Let me just go to normal. That looks, yeah. My blend mode normal, but I could try the other ones. If you like multiply or you like some of these other ones, you can try them. I'm just going to go with normal for right now. All right, so I hit OK. Now I do want to have this merged onto my layer that I just did. So I hold down Shift, select both layers, and then I do a Command E. Now that rhino is selected. And if I go back to my Rhino 1 and I pull them apart, there we have it. Now we can see what's inside the rhino. So I'm going to start doing these as I go. So let me do my next rhino selection. Now this is where it gets tricky because then you're like, well, which one do I want to do again? So I will shut off these two that I'll name this the background. Okay. Call this purple rhino, or yeah. So make sure you name your slices so you know which one's going where. Now, let me see which one I have. That's nothing. I don't know what that is. I'll throw it away. That's the original. I don't think I'm going to use this one, but I'll leave it for right now. All right, this one I will go ahead and go to my paths, and this one, I believe it's that one. So I'm kind of going out of order here, but it'll be okay. Go to my half circle, solid color, I'll go to green this time, and I will put on my FX inner glow. And now it's on purple, obviously can't stay there. I'll do another shade of like darker green maybe. Oops, it's kind of hard to see. Everything's kind of blocking, but it's not too bad. But let me get more of a blue-green maybe. There we go, like that. Okay, let's go ahead and merge that on. That layer that's supposed to be on is kind of far down, so let me move that up. This is it. Yeah, so let me go ahead, hold down Shift, select both layers, do a Command E. Now, let's see what other one I have. That one, and then I have one more, which will be, let's see which the other one would be in between here, which would probably be that one. All right, that's the other one. All right, then I go to Paths, and I go to my final one. Oh, it's right there. That is not the same one, unless it's, yeah, okay. Maybe I should have activated that first to figure out which one I'm going to. There we go. It'll be that rhino. So I can't wait a minute. All right, I had to go back and make sure I found the rhino. It's not that selection either. All right, there we go. Uh-oh. Hang on one second. All right, there we go. Activate the selection again, go to layers, find my rhino. There we go. All right, now I can go to half circle, solid color, and I will do, I don't think I did blue yet. Let me just do blue. All right, so, oh, I don't like that blue. It's kind of gray. Let me make it a little more. No, it's looking really gray on mine, but there we go. All right, now I will do my outer glow, or my inner glow, I'm sorry, my inner glow. And then it's going to go to a blue, obviously, so it works with my blue. Let's move this so you can see it. Well, that looks pretty good. You can play around with it to get it exactly where you want it. That's going to be what I'm going to have. Let me go ahead and merge that on. There we go. All right, now let's see all my parts. And then my last part that I'm going to be using is, that's my first, no, that's not my first part. Let me turn that one off. And I will, that's my first part. First part. Second part is this one. And the third part is that one. So now I've got to slice them the other way. So let me go to my paths again. Let me go to the slice here because I'm going to need this one. Make sure it's lined up. I move that rhino, just line it up. And then I'm going to go back to my layers, make sure I've got that activated. Now go back to my paths, hold down Command. There we go. Now what I can do is I can I'll need to erase this section here. So I go to the eraser